Hi there and welcome back, my friends, to Torment, Tides of Numenera. We're talking to Inkpot, and like he's a madman whose god is the bloom, where we are. Talking to him about the bloom. What do you think of the Memovira, that's the leader of the bloom? When her will was one of the blooms, we revered her, but no more, he frowns. She is no Memovira, not anymore, not to us. Another will be found in time. Gun thoughts, her time is done. Soon the bloom will take her as well. You think the ninth world is an illusion? I know it is. The people of that world try to tell you that life is not pain. They weave illusions and call them laws to protect the weak and the poor and the ugly, the malformed, but look closer and you'll see that they lie. It's a gob of yellow flame off the side of the platform. Only here in the bloom is the horror of life revealed without pretense, becoming one with the bloom, our only hope of salvation. What a vision. How do you plan to become one with the bloom? We clothe ourselves in its flesh, feast on its bile and viscera. We're lucky enough to hear its voice. We empty our minds and let it govern our actions and our thoughts. Its long misshapen fingers clench and unclench. The devourer will only call us to its heart when its will is one with ours. Canthals, one day I will hear the bloom's voice clearly, not these vague whispers. I must not doubt. Though he's doubting. Talk about something else. Something else? His mouth twitches as if irritated to change the subject. Yeah, is it safe to drink the water from that pool? Of course, probably yes. He would say that. Better than safe. Those fluids are the holy secretions of the great devourer. To drink them is to put your mind in communion with the bloom. He leans closer to you and your eyes are drawn to the profusion of festering sores in his mouth. You can listen to its voice and know what it wants for a time at least. Well, okay, so we know that the pool will tell us something. You can leave the area here and examine that. The walls of this dwelling are covered in papers with various threats and slurs written on them. And we want to know, so we can open up and go to the ascension. The pool is filled with yellowish water. The wide area around the pool is wet, suggesting that people have been drinking the unpleasant fluid and possibly bathing in it too. We'll look into it. Beneath the surface of the pool is a large reservoir of fluid. Can't see anything of interest in its depths. We'll drink some of it. You take a sip of the yellowish water. It has a greasy texture and a slightly sour taste, but it quenches your thirst. You take another sip and you start to hear whispers. They're faint at first, but they grow louder, resolving into the chittering voices of the bloom. They buzz in your ears, scratching at the inside of your skull. You stumble, struggling to keep your balance. Even as your sense is dull, the bloom's voices seem clearer than before. You're immediately aware that the voices here sound angry. Hundreds of them hiss and shriek in murderous rage, directing their ire toward the inflamed fleshy dwelling on this platform. Step away from this. That's the dwelling of these guys, of the Gloom Cultists. Inkpot, let's talk to him again. Inkpot looks up from his scribbling, his crooked mouth shaping itself into the mockery of a smile. We await your intercession with Ioxu, but our god is in pain, so we will not wait forever. Yeah, let's go here and see what disturbs the bloom. Inside this device is a sizable lump of bloom flesh. It lies upon a comfortable-looking cushion and appears to be asleep. The top of this machine is covered in glass lenses of varying shapes. It appears to be some kind of monitoring device. Text and symbols flash across this screen, all of it meaningless to you. Here as well. Here as well. The shelves, you see a few discarded notes and old books. A rack of test tubes sits alone and forgotten, overgrown with bloom flesh. These tanks contain floating blobs of plant or algal matter. They could serve as a basic but unpleasant food source. And there is Ioxu. Let's talk to him. And he seems to be a researcher, so a man after our own heart. This Wajellan looks like much like others of its kind. Violet red skin, yellow eyes, a tall crest atop its head. This one appears to have chosen a male form for now. He wears thin lenses over his eyes. Some strange device encircles his head, with weighted attachments dangling at the ends of long straps. His calloused pointed fingertips are stained, and his garments are unkempt and in disarray. He's a mad scientist, then. Is that what you want to tell me? He looks impatiently at you as you interrupt his work, his eyes snapping between you and the door. His crest inflates with irritation. The interruptions continue. What would you have of Ioxu? Do you keep looking at the door? He sighs. Apologies from me. The noise and constant interruption from those outside are inconducive to proper behavior. They have been escalating their discussions toward violence. The experiments conducted within this chamber are perhaps unlikely to gain the favor of the bloom. Indeed, the great beast has evinced some displeasure. Its pathetic worshippers who gather here to mock have begun seeking ways to stop me, an effort to appease their deity. He gives you a hopeful look. I would reward anyone who can drive them off. And thought it only shows I'm doing something worthy. True knowledge risks danger. Knowledge has always had its detractors. They will do what they must. As long as my work lives on, I care not. He turns his head from side to side, seeing you with both his eyes. What would you have of me? What do you do here? Look, smell, taste, measure, understand. Though his voice is flat, you can see the pleasure in his face. Apprehension is the key to knowledge. The bloom is a creature unlike any other, yet who has taken the time to study its nature? First is Ioxu. The work done here will illuminate the bloom for those who follow. For decades I have been here. Physical structure, biological needs, behavior, mental construction, known history of the beast, history of its inhabitants. All these things have I gathered. Where does it originate? I believe a twin star holds the answer, a place of howling winds, an immense gravity. Fear tells me that this creature is not yet mature, that the years will see its size increase. Scan thoughts to what purpose? Destruction, consumption, ascension. I fear I will never know. Reality bends around the bloom. Its ways twist and turn, but even where stability is assumed, the bloom's presence resists understanding. It resists mapping. This is the importance of my work, to make secrets known that all may benefit. What's that device here, in the middle of the room? The bloom detests those who seek to understand it on a rational level. For some time now, it has sought my destruction, to erase all accomplished here. The device generates a multispectrum field that repels the bloom's advances. Ioxu's lip curls, but this means only that it waits for me without. Had other devices not been available to create food and drink, I should have perished here. Okay, we must protect him, I think. A fellow researcher. Why does the bloom doesn't want to be understood? That's the question. Tell me about that construct in the corner. That looks like the fighter construct, right? Many years ago it came to my door. It vowed service to me. Its memories and personality could be erased. I did not ask why, just as I would hope to have my own reasons respected. He rubs his eyes. It now serves to protect me against those who would do me harm, or specifically the Murdans and the Cultists. So, the automaton in the corner, is there an easy way to deactivate it or something like it? He regards you flatly with both eyes, turning his head this way and that as at last he speaks. The Bloom's followers outside my door, the risk of transmission of this information to potentially dangerous parties is unacceptable. Will not have the answer. All right. What do you think would make the Bloom cultists leave you alone? Defeating them with a reasoned argument would be difficult, the Magellan appears to consider. I present no danger to them, not like you. A threat of force might persuade them, but I believe they tell the truth about enjoying the Bloom's favor. To oppose them is to draw its ire. I mean, we don't want him to stop experimenting on the Bloom. Do you have anything you'd be willing to sell to me? Looks around at his cluttered desk. I do not anticipate a need for these devices any longer. Perhaps they can serve you. Oh, we could... We could sell a couple of things here. But what? The wool-woven garment, yeah. Beads of Mother Tamaz. I mean, we would like to keep it all, of course. As you have here. Whispers. 4 energy damage, 4 physical damage, 3 damage per effort applied, max plus 12. 15% on weapon attacks, light weapon bonus. Huh. Cloak of Faces. Heretic's Fork. That we have Whispers, I think. And that thing is the Ecstasy Paralyzer. 2 damage per effort applied, max plus 10. And 10 mental damage. Need confer dazed. Eagle hits confer stunned. Active 1 round. And this thing is the Piton Driver. Light ranged speed weapon. Oh my, oh my. Kandiru. It's not that great. Placed against the wrist, this wriggling eel burrows beneath the skin and releases a powerful agent that strengthens the muscles in hand-to-hand combat. I mean, we could give it to Rin. Yeah, let's not sell him much.
Sure.
Let's talk about this stuffing. So, Now, we need to drive these people away. They're probably the main problem. We need to find out how we can do that. Let's talk to Inkpot. It looks up from his scribblings. We await your intercession with Ioxu, but our god is in pain, so we will not wait forever. You need to stop harassing him because he can help you. The bloom is really a god. Why does it need human help at all? That seems good, deconstructing the godness. He frowns, confused. The need is plain. Can you look upon the swollen flesh of that house and tell me that a poison doesn't fester inside? And thought she dares? No, she simply does not understand. Did the bloom ask for your help? Mouth quivers. It spoke to me of its need. I heard its voice in my mind. Scan thoughts. It does not need to speak for the faithful to see, but this one needs stronger faith. We'll try to deceive. You're wrong. The bloom spoke to me about Ioxu. It doesn't want your help at all. 75. Ooh. 25. 20. 40. Well, we're good at that last. Your brazen self-assurance, even though it isn't real, is enough to shake the confidence of the cultists. They exchange worried looks. I may have misunderstood the Devourer's intent. Perhaps I should wait. Consult the scriptures. He nods to himself and fingers a few of the papers that adorn his robes. Best not to act rashly where gods are concerned.
Of course.
And now we can go back and ask. I told them, Ioxu, I told them. You disturb me again. What great matter calls for your interruption? Good news, Ioxu. The Bloom cultists have agreed to leave you alone.
Making a note.
Doubts rise within his left eye, goggles at you momentarily. Extraordinary claims demand proof. Steps to the door and peers outside. He waits for a moment, closes the door and turns back to you. They had regarded this home and Ioxu, but their clamour ended. Tight smiles colored their faces, but no longer do they hurl imprecations. My gratitude, I believe, is in order. Accept this, let no debts stand. He presses something small into your hands. Encephalon of subjugating revivification. What is that? Nanospirits reanimate the muscles of a humanoid corpse to fight by your side. Fighting action. This undulating mass of metallic tendrils resembles nothing so much as a sea flower sculpted from woven steel. Parting the wriggling metal ropes reveals the nucleus, a knotted metallic brain whose every fissure pulses with a faint green light. When placed in close proximity to any intact corpse, the object's tendrils will burrow deep into the recesses of the dead being's body. Within moments, the encephalon will be completely subsumed into the host. Will arise a mindless thrall awaiting purpose. A farmer once discovered a host of similar objects, prying them from the fossilized carapaces of beings from antiquity. Supposing them to be seeds, he planted them near the family's burial plot. Recovering from the shock of seeing his ancestors rise from their graves, he made the best of his situation and put them to work tending the fields. The farmer took ill and ultimately passed. His family, it is said, can still be seen ceaselessly toiling to harvest his long barren lands to this day. So tell me again how to deactivate the automatons like your bodyguard, please. Now that these people are away. Your service and protection against the Bloom's worshippers calls for an exchange of knowledge. Better still, Bite. He steps over to his workbench and his hands disappear in a blur of movement. Take this. He presses a long, thin strip of metal into your hand, inlaid with tiny circuits and emitting a light that makes your eyes hurt. As it sits on your palm, the inks burn into your skin and the metal dissolves, were it not a function of the device. Slide your hand into any exposed joint, let yourself be impaled within. The ink will call these words to mind. He growls strange syllables. Your blood carries the overload mechanism now. It transfers energy via the torus mechanism. Ah, well. Well, see you soon, I guess. Crazy.
Yes, now.
So if we deactivate the fighting construct, we can reboot it or something. That would be interesting to do. But for now, thank you for watching and happy gaming to you. We'll see each other in the next episode where we'll level up a bit and probably have a little more exploration in all of the directions. Have a great time until then and happy gaming. This is Imran Khan signing out. See you soon, my friends.